Hi everybody, welcome back to Small Caliber Arms Review. I'm Richard, and today we have an AK-47. An AK-47M. This is a stamped receiver. This is a Romanian made model. It's your standard AK style rifle. This one is empty and it is clear. Take the safety off. Nothing in there. I have fired this one. This is a loaner gun, so it's not mine. I'm not a big fan of AKs. Sorry, I don't like liver either, but I'm just not a fan. But really, I fired this a couple times last weekend, and it's really got a nice trigger in it. It's kind of a long, light pull, and it's really light. The reset on it is pretty short, and really, it's a really light trigger on this thing. Shoots pretty good. The only thing I had a problem with is this one does have an optics rail mounted on the side of it, and I don't have an optic for it. So what happens is the sight, to lower it down enough to shoot 100 yards, it's below this rail. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this rail off, and then we're going to get it out there on the range and do some shooting with it. Plus, after I get the rail off, I'll show you how it comes apart. A lot of you already know this. This is my first experience with the AK or AKM. And really, they are a simple rifle to field strip. They're known for their reliability. Excellent reliability. They've got some pretty open spaces in there, so they can handle a lot of trash getting in there. And this one has not been clean in a number of years, and it still functions just like it should. But let me get this rail off here, then we'll open the thing up. All right, the rail on here is held on with 3 Allen screws on the side of it here. And there is a piece mounted on the side of the receiver. This is riveted to the receiver, so that's going to stay there. We're just going to take this piece off to get it out of the way. We'll set that off to the side. And really, takedown on the AKs are a breeze. You got a dust cover on here, which is one of the reasons why the optic is going to be mounted on the side of the receiver there, because this dust cover does not fit. Your optic would move around if it was mounted on there, so you don't want to do that. You've got a pretty short sight radius from your front post to your rear sight, and you know there's not a lot of options to mount optics on here. There are some that mount on the gas tube system here, and those would mount pretty solid too. But this is probably going to be your best option for mounting an optic on an AK. But takedown, just push this button in the back, lift the dust cover up, go ahead and take your spring, push it forward, lift it up a little bit. That's all one captive unit. Take your bolt, pull it all the way back. There's your piston, the op rod, the whole thing. The bolt mounts right underneath there, and you just got to rotate it a little bit to get it out. And it's got kind of 2 really big locking lugs on there. Putting it back in, just slide it right back in there, roll it in. It's ready to go again. Really a simple design, a super simple design. Take your gas tube off the front there, just flip this lever up and lift that right off of there. You can get in there and clean it out. And you can see this one's pretty dirty. It has not been cleaned in a number of years, that's for sure, but it still operates just fine. And that's the whole idea behind these rifles, is they wanted something that is easy to take care of on the battlefield. It's got some pretty neat springs in there. They are kind of a twisted, they're a 2-wire twisted together, and they make the springs. And the idea behind that is in case one breaks, you still got a backup in there. They're a really super simple design. The stamped receiver, it's tough to set up to manufacture, but once you do, the process of manufacturing is stamp them out, stamp them out, stamp them out, keep on going. So once all the tooling's set up, it's easy to get them going. All right, reassembly is a piece of cake. To put your gas tube back on there, flip that lever up, and once it's in place, go ahead and push it down. That locks in there. Go ahead and put your op rod with your bolt back in there. Make sure your bolt's in there the correct way, and go ahead and slide it back in there. Once you get it to the back there, there's a spot where the bolt will push down in there and engage the rails. Go ahead and slide that all the way forward. Take your recoil spring and guide rod and everything, push it back in there. It latches right there at the back. Put your dust cover back on. There's a little groove that rides in the front there, and you'll want to push it forward to get it on there. Engage that little clip, push it down, it pops out, everything is good to go. Super easy gun to tear down. Yes, it probably is a lot easier than the AR. I'm just a big fan of the AR platform, but there really is nothing wrong with the AK platform. They function well, and they've been proven since 1947, aka AK-47. But anyways, magazine, it locks in there. You got a little clip on the front there. Put it in the mag well, if I can find it. Well, put it in the mag well and pull it back a little bit, and it locks in there good and solid. Releasing the magazine, you've got this little button right here on the front, little lever. Just pull that forward, rock your magazine out, you're ready to go with another one. Now, one of the things I don't like about the AK is if you want to change your magazine, it's a two-handed operation, where with the AR you just got a button right there. You can drop that magazine out, grab another one, and slap it back in there. With this one, it's a two-handed operation. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, really. Now, a lot of people will take their second magazine and reach up there and hit that with the magazine and knock it out and then pop theirs in there. But to me, I like the AR better for that aspect of it anyways. But it locks in there good and secure. I'm not a big fan of this giant safety on here. At least with an AR, it's right there where your thumb is, so you don't have to take your trigger finger and put it up there and take it off safe. You can keep your trigger finger right there, hit it with your thumb. This one, you've got to move a little bit. You've got to take your trigger finger off there and get it ready. And another thing I don't like about the AK is the charging handle where it's at. Usually you see people do the reach around thing. Not much for the reach around thing, but they'll reach under here, pull it back, and drop it. All right, I've got a good steel magazine here. This one was made in Korea, so it's not original to this gun. But anyways, you'll see the follower down on the bottom there, and it is a steel follower in there. There's a little bump in it, and that causes your round to push over so they stagger in there correctly, and each round will stagger back and forth in there. Get them loaded up, just push them on in there, and make sure they're all the way to the back when you push them in, and then just keep on loading it up. We're going to be shooting some steel cased ammo here. This is Herder's 7.62 by 39, 122 grain full metal jacket. All right, we're out here on the range with the AKM, AK-47M, AKM-47, whatever it is. I've got a few rounds of the steel case Herder's ammo in there, and we're going to get it loaded up, charged up, and give it a few shots. I've got a 100-yard target, steel target down there, and like I said, this thing has got a great trigger in it. Now, I don't know exactly where the sights are set at on it because it had an optic on it, and I just took a few shots with it last weekend and did not hit the target because I could not get that low enough. But we'll give it a try, see how it does. And it's a hit. It's a really good trigger on this thing. It really is. I can't say anything bad about it. They're super ultra reliable firearms. The bore axis is a little high of what the shoulder is, where with the AR it's a straight line, but it does all right. Well, I hit it on the first try. There we go. And that's it, empty magazine. This holds 30 rounds in the magazine. I didn't have that many in there, but it shoots great. It's got a little bit of a kick to it. It's not terrible. This is made for the battlefield, and they made them correctly when they made them. Now their effective range is a little less, I guess, than a AR-15. Not that I'm trying to really compare them. I just like the AR-15 a lot better than I do the AK. You know, it's a whole American-made thing. But really, you can't say anything bad about them. They're inconvenient to mount an optic on it, but they were not designed to have an optic made on them, mounted on them. They were built in 1947 is where they were designed, and originally they were a milled receiver, and then they kind of changed it up around, I think, 1950 and made the stamped receivers. It made the production a lot quicker, but it required bigger, heavier equipment to manufacture them on, and they manufacture them all over the world. I think there's something like 75 million of them, or 100. There's a whole ton of AK and AK variants all around the world. Probably the most popular firearm in the world. And they just do what they do. They function, and they function well. The stock trigger on this, I'm pretty sure this is a stock trigger. It is far better than the AR-15. Of course, the AR-15 is the Lego of firearms, so I mean, there's a lot of options you can do with those that you can't quite do with the AK. I'm sure some of the purists out there are going to say, oh my gosh, you misrepresented it so badly, but it's a good firearm. The rear sight is adjustable it's in meters, so I mean, it's quite a bit, there's quite a bit of adjustment on it. The front sight on this one, it's got the little, you know, it's got wings on it to guard it. To adjust the windage on it, you have to have a tool to adjust it. You got to push it one side to the other. Usually it requires a special tool to do it. With the AR, usually the rear sight is adjustable if you've just got the standard GI sights on it. This one, the front sight, is also adjustable for elevation, but it's a cool rifle. It really is. They're battle proven. They've been around forever, and they just do what they do. They function. Not bad at all. All right, guys, thanks for taking a look at the AKM with me. It's an iconic firearm. It functions absolutely fabulous. There's no denying that. Not as quite as accessorizable. You can't customize it as much as you can the AR-15. There's a world of accessories for that. But there's no denying that this is a really good firearm. It really is. Anyways, if you could, hit this button up here to check out some of my other videos. Hit this button over here to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you ever get your hands on one of these, there's one thing you've got to do. Wolverines! Thanks for watching.